And pleased to bring in right now Judge Andrew Napolitano, Newsmax senior judicial analyst, to weigh in. And we know Chief Justice John Roberts just spoke from the Supreme Court about the judge's impeachment. Before we get to that, Judge, first, great to have you with us. So the government's saying that the flights were already in the air. The third one, they say it was an enemy, alien act. But the enemy alien act is really important because there's an executive order. If we are technically deporting people who are Venezuelan gang members, isn't it covered by the executive order in that act? And if so, why is the ACLU trying to have a plane turned around with potential criminals here to have them back in the United States? It just doesn't make sense to a lot of folks why they're picking this fight.
It's a great question. The president is of the view that the evidence of the guilt of these people is so overwhelming that they should be summarily, because of their behavior in this gang, which is notorious, that they should be summarily removed from the United States. Summarily means without a trial. The only way he can remove people from the United States without any hearing whatsoever is under the Enemy Alien Act. And the Enemy Alien Act, which has only been used 3 times in American history, in the War of 1812, World War I, and World War II, requires that the country from which these people came be engaged in war with the United States. Not the people themselves, but the country from which they came. So what Judge Boasberg, I believe, is going to rule when he finishes going through the documents that Alana was just describing to us, is that because the United States is not at war with Venezuela, these people have to come back here, and there needs to be a hearing. It's not a jury trial. It's a hearing before an immigration judge at which the government presents evidence to show that they are criminals, that they have committed crimes, and they should be out of here. Just to allay people's anxiety. If they come back, they're not set free. They go to immigration detention, a jail, until there's an actual trial. President Trump is trying to avoid the trial, and under the law, he can only do so when we're at war with the country from which they came.
And I guess we have to wait and see what the government says because, we call it a gang, but it really is, a very comprehensive Tren de Aragua. They're not just like a street gang. They're very organized. They're terrifying. Anyone you speak to who knows how they operate, they're one of the most dangerous people out there. So if there is some type of maybe government infiltration with the gangs and they were knowingly let out of prisons to come here, there's just so many ways that we don't know which way the government's going to go, and we don't know really what ICE may be coming up with.
All of this is what Judge Boasberg probably will, and I think should be looking at when he examines the documents, and probably goes to take testimony from the people that filed the documents. He has jurisdiction over the Secretaries of Defense and Homeland Security, no matter where the flights are, because they control the flights. So if he says to my friend Pete Hegseth, turn those planes around, Pete has no choice but to turn them around and then file an appeal.
Well, and you would hope that the planes have enough fuel that they can make it back here, that they could land, because you want to land in another country. There's so many complications here. But
that is the reason why judges usually don't get involved in something like this. Because, God forbid, there was not enough fuel. Then we have a very serious issue. Correct.
Okay, finally, this is bubbling up as a result of all this. President Trump posted on Truth Social, we'll put it up, saying that the bloc, that they should be crooked judges. I am forced to appear before they should be impeached. Just minutes ago, Chief Justice John Roberts says that's not an appropriate response, disagreeing with the judge's ruling. So weigh in on that in our final moments here.
I have 2 thoughts on this. One is that judges, which includes the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, are not supposed to get involved in public controversies. They are not supposed to express public opinions, and they're not supposed to criticize public officials. The other is the Chief Justice is correct. This is not a case for impeachment. Impeachment can only be based on treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. If you don't like what a judge rules, appeal it. It's no basis for impeachment.
All right, well, Judge Andrew Napolitano, always great to hear what you are saying and thinking about all this as we watch this hearing unfolding today in D.C. Good to see you.
Pleasure, my friend.